Happy Tuesday morning to you, Mike here. The Fresh Rinse. It is a blistering Tuesday morning. I haven't worked in a number of days, and I wanted to show a video of what it looks like to de-winterize your equipment the way I do it. And I'm also going to wash some or clean out some gutters, and that's pretty much it, so don't go anywhere. Before we continue, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell tab if you'd like to be alerted to future videos. Be sure to leave a comment. All of those things help the channel. I'm trying to get to the point to where I can monetize a little bit, so if you can help me out, I would greatly appreciate it. I truly would. Thank you very much. All right, so my tank was completely empty, and now I am filling the tank. Actually, I'm just going to put enough in there just to make sure my 10-gallon-a-minute machine works. Of course, I had the dump valve open. I'm closing that. If you've watched the previous video, then you know that the way that I winterize my equipment is to simply remove one of the check valves. But I removed that check valve, pardon the mess, and just left it here over the weekend. And it has dropped down into the teens. Now it's about 37 degrees. I'm going to install this plunger just like this. See how that has that little hole there? Well, the check valve will find that little hole. I just felt that it found that little crevice there. So I didn't time it last week, but I kind of paid attention, and it took me less than a minute to winterize my machine last week. Because on the way home from my last job, I dumped all the water. So by the time I got home, there was no water in the system. And literally all I had to do was turn on my machine to blow out the lines and then remove the check valve, and I was done. Once this gets to capacity, then I will start the machine and just run it for a minute to make sure everything is good. So someone's going to ask why I'm even getting the machine up and going if I'm not going to be using it today. Well, I don't know that I won't. We had a little bit of moisture over the weekend, and because of that, the gutters may be wet. If that's the case, then the leaf blower may not work. So I'm just preparing for that, which means whether I use it or not, when I come home in a few hours, then I'm going to have to go through the process again. On the way home, I will empty the 275 tank. Then when I get back, I will start the machine for about 5 seconds. I'll blow out the water. I'll then remove that check valve, and I should be good for tomorrow. I have a handful of washes tomorrow and Wednesday.
A few moments later, a few minutes later, a few inches later, 12 seconds later, 3 days later, 3 weeks later, many months later, 6.5 hours later, 1 eternity later, 2,000 years later, 3:28 a.m. tomorrow, day 2, day 3, day 4.
Okay, I am back, and real quickly, let me apologize for the wind. On the way home, I emptied out my 275-gallon tote, and for the record, the reason I completely empty this on my way home is because that valve has some sort of problem with it. It's allowing water to seep through. These lines need to be completely emptied. So my dump valve is open, and it will remain open. That way I can get nice airflow at all times. The process will look like this. Now that the tank is completely empty, I'm going to turn on the 10-gallon-a-minute machine, which is the only machine that I ran today. It is going to push water from the tank out of the exit here. Once that has taken place, probably around 5 seconds, 10 seconds at the most, I will shut off the machine, and then I will open this check valve here, removing the check valve, and my task will be complete. So I'm going to time myself, and we'll see how long this takes. Using a 1/2-inch ratchet with a 30mm socket. And go. done. All right, and that's it. So I will leave my ratchet and socket here along with the plug and the check valve. I have an exit here, so any water that's in the tank, or pump rather, will exit, therefore it cannot freeze. All the hoses and lines from the machine to the exit point here are completely extinguished with water, and I have my check valve, or my dump valve rather, open, so I've got nice airflow throughout the entire system here. So hey, that is it. That's it. It just doesn't take that much. But here's the thing, you can't overdo it. If you want to put antifreeze in your system, that's cool. If you want to blow the lines out, that's awesome, but it's really not necessary. By the time I wash tomorrow, my hoses will be thawed and I'll be ready to put everything back together. Goes together in a minute or two. So, all right, once again, be sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell tab if you'd like to be alerted to future videos. Leave a comment. All of that helps the channel. I'm really wanting to build it up. I've got a ton of ideas for winter videos that I'm going to be doing, in particular in the area of motivation. I'll be throwing out some numbers, some stats. All of that stuff will, I believe, help my brothers and sisters in the pressure washing community. It's cold and I can't talk. All right, Mike, the Fresh Rinse. And I'm out.